Good afternoon, all. Today we have Nallashivam, design consultant with us, who's going to talk about universal design and how it can impact Coimbatore. Hi, Nallashivam. Can you please tell us a few words about yourself?
Hi Karthik, thank you for giving me this opportunity on the stage to interact. So my background is I started as an engineer and then had different corporate roles, then design and then ran my own startup. With all those experiences I joined a research consultancy company and I was a professor also in this 15-year career. Right now I work with a design research company. They work with customer experience and employee experience as their prime areas of expertise.
Okay. Nice. So, coming down to universal design, can you tell our audience what universal design is?
Um, so, as a term, design, it comes from the technological revolution that happened 200 years back, and the main focus was how to fasten the human produce, how to make it more efficient, less energy use, and make more produce. So, in this process, we lost the human factor. So, that's when there was a bridge that happened between art and technology, which was design. So people were expressing themselves as art, and this side people were introducing a lot of new machineries to proceed to move the human generation to the next level. So the bridge I felt design enabled. So the bridge was how to introduce the human factor to machines or whatever innovation that is happening. So in this process, there are a lot of different environments we live in and different ableness humans have or users in general have. So I might be born with the usual or the generally socially accepted physical figurine or gender. There are a lot of people with challenges. It could be physical, it could be psychological, and most of the times when we innovate, we keep only the human part of it. We often tend to forget about the environment the humans live in or use the product and the other beings that are there in that environment. So universality is applying the whole of space, people, use other living beings, all the other interaction that happens. So that is the universality of it. So it was easy to coin the term universal design.
Universal.
So making it as inclusive as possible.
Got it. Can you give us examples of places where we can see universal design at play?
So I used to hear this common example that our professor used to give. The immediate example that comes to my mind is veshti, the dhoti. So right now we wear pants, jeans pants, shirts. So we have to tailor fit everything for us. There are at least 6 sizes starting from extra small to double XL, triple XL. Right. Whereas if you imagine a dhoti, a person like me who is a bulk figure or a person who is having 28 waist can have the same dhoti tied around. So for anybody, one piece of cloth fits. So okay. I can have the same thing applied for a woman also. So they had sari which was suitable for any body figure. So they could be extra slim or they could be extra large, any range of sizes. One simple piece of cloth fits. And it's not like it's a very boring piece of product. So you can have a lot of designs on it. It can be aesthetically appealing. We have a lot of different varieties in silk saris or materials also explored. So I feel design we have had universally applied for us. Right. So when we are mixing this with technological products, we can take inspirations from that and apply in our day-to-day use, maybe mobile phones or wet grinders, anything.
Right, right. So in context of Coimbatore, how do you think universal design can play a role, or where do you think it can play a role rather?
Okay, so for one of my projects, my main area of exploration was understanding pottery community in Coimbatore. Okay. So pottery community as a livelihood, it evolved around water bodies. So their main source of livelihood is clay. Clay is easily found near lakes or ponds. Right. So Coimbatore is a city that is filled with lakes and ponds. So when smart city project happened, the people all expected, all the communities were considered when the design was happened. But in the last 5-6 years when the execution was happening, any lake you go to, it is aesthetically pleasing. It is open for masses to come there, play or interact, play music, dance, shoot videos. So that is happening. It is made lively. But if you think about people who lived there, so you go to Sungam Lake or Kuruchi Lake, the people, the communities that were dependent on the lakes, they were not given preference. So when the desilting was happening, when the restoration happened, they were not given the clay. The priority was not given to distribute the desilted clay to them. So this inclusivity was missing. Like, you want to showcase the city as smart city, you want to showcase it for catering to particular smart, the so-called smart audience, but you're missing out on the indigenous people who have lived for centuries based on these natural phenomena. So I feel if we include them during the ideation part, like make it more open, accessible for all the communities to pitch in what is their need when the city is growing, I feel it can be a wholesome growth. Rather than focus on an industry specific growth, it can be a wholesome communal growth.
Great, great. So from your experience, where else do you think it can come into play? Other than looking at the indigenous crowds, I'm talking more about the structural, design.
Okay.
So we have ramps, railings in hospitals. That's always there. But can you quote a parallel from any other city you've been to where universal design has taken a step ahead and has been integrated with the city's livelihood or city's structure or city's design?
So I feel most of our olden architecture didn't have too much of hindrances for everybody to use, whereas the current architecture, where the ground real estate is less, people are constructing vertical real estates. The height of the building keeps growing, so accessibility for a abled human being is easy. For an elderly person, if the power goes off, they can never climb a single or multi-story building. Although there are architectural guidelines to make spaces inclusive, to make ramps, so I feel only government agencies are following it. If you go to a government school or government hospital, they have ramp with railings. If it is more than one floor, you have an elevator. Whereas when I go to any public institutions or public companies, I feel it hardly being followed. So if we are coming up with the policy next Gen 2, what is next for Coimbatore or what is best for Tamil Nadu, we can think of a inclusive design policy where architectural, product and experiences, the whole ecosystem can inculcate the universal design principles. So we have an Indianized version of universal design principles. We have 5 principles. Right. So we can make use of that and create policies where even private institutions are made sure to be more inclusive or accessible for people, general public.
That was great. Thank you, Nallashivam, for being on the podcast.
Thank you, Karthik. Thank you.